y'all, this is Jamie. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am going to be sharing with y'all my top 5 reasons that I love creating content on YouTube and the 5 reasons that I hate creating content on YouTube. But before we get into that, question of the day: if you could have your own YouTube channel, what would it be on? What would your niche be? And if you already have a YouTube channel, let me know what it's all about down in the comments below. And let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I know that I probably titled this video something like 5 things I love and 5 things I hate about being a YouTuber. First of all, I don't know that I fully consider myself to be a YouTuber because I feel like you have to be making money off of this and earning a living from YouTube, but I have a feeling saying creating content on YouTube is just going to be too long for the title. So basically I just wanted to come on and share some of the things that have been on my mind lately. For those of you who are just finding my channel, maybe this is your first time watching me, or you've only watched a few videos of or maybe you've only watched a few videos of mine and don't know my story. I'll give a little bit of an abridged version. I have had my channel for 4 years now. I first started in January of 2018. I first started with a couple of testing Pinterest recipes videos. That's the direction I was going to take my channel. And then I switched over to makeup in February. I think I posted my first makeup tutorial in February of 2018. Well, I have had this channel for 4 years now. I have pretty consistently uploaded content. There have been like a couple of months here and there that I have not, because I've gotten very discouraged for obvious reasons. If you look at my subscriber count, I just passed the 1,000 subscriber mark like maybe a couple of months ago. So it's been very frustrating for me, but I still continue to do it. And part of that is because I'm very stubborn when it comes to backing off of something. As far as like, this is how I was with teaching. I couldn't get a teaching job for 4 years and I was still like trying to get one, and I like kept trying until I finally got one. It's like sometimes I don't pay attention to the signs that are telling me to back off or to do something else, go on another path. But with YouTube, I've always felt like this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do. So there's always been a bit of that back and forth with me of like, should I do this? I don't know. Yes, but yes, but yes. With that being said, I just kind of wanted to share the things that I love about creating content on YouTube and some of the things that have made me pause about YouTube and the things that have kind of discouraged me or have kind of gotten me down about YouTube. I just want to share this, hoping that this allows people to understand me a little bit more. Maybe people can relate to it as well if any of y'all have been struggling with your channel as well, getting a bit of traction on it. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to kind of go back and forth between like a reason I love it, then a reason I hate it, then a reason I love it, then a reason I hate it. So first, let's do it. These are my 5 reasons I love being on YouTube, 5 reasons I hate being on YouTube. Let's do it. Alright, so first, a reason that I love creating content on YouTube is that it gives me a voice. So I've always been the very reserved, shy girl. That was always kind of part of my identity growing up. So much so that it's like people were surprised when I would do something, were surprised when I would say something. But I a lot of times wanted to say something. I just had a bit of social anxiety, a lot of it. I'm timid of speaking sometimes. And so I feel like this was kind of, when I realized that this is something that people did for a living, and something that people did like seriously, even if it's just as a hobby, like talking to a camera, I feel like is just so much easier than talking to a person for me. It allows me to truly be myself. It allows me to get this content out, to say some of the things that I want to say, to do some of the things that I want to do without worrying about my anxieties that I have seeing people in person or doing things in front of people. This kind of has given me that opportunity to like sit here and teach about makeup, or sit here and share some of my feelings sometimes that I have a hard time doing to an actual person. I think this has been a great outlet for me, and I think that's one of the reasons why I keep doing it, is because it has really given me the opportunity to share and to still teach. For those who don't know, I am no longer a teacher. This is nice to just have my own outlet where I can say what I want to say, and I can do the things that I want to do without, you know, worrying about somebody overshadowing me or somebody like speaking over me. So it's great. Now to one of the reasons why I hate being on YouTube, and that is editing. I do not like editing videos. It takes a long time. I remember my very first video, it took me 2 weeks to edit that thing. Now, it was user error with my editing software, and it was my computer. But it took me like 2 weeks. I was so frustrated. And editing is the one thing that I sometimes drag my feet with. So I before have had like 2 or 3 videos filmed, but have missed a post day because I just hadn't gotten to editing the video. And I always have these ideas in my head, but I just don't know how to execute them when it comes to editing. I'm like, oh, I wish I could do this, and I wish I could do that. And sometimes I'll go and I'll look up on YouTube how to do it, or I'll look up a little article on how to do something, and it just doesn't turn out, it still doesn't turn out the way that I want it to. And it just takes a long time, and that'll kind of lead me to one of my other reasons why I don't like YouTube content, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. And sometimes I feel like it's not worth it, or that it's not necessary, because I know that there are other people who don't edit their videos like at all. But it depends on the niche. So most beauty YouTubers edit their content, so I don't know. But yeah, editing is probably one of my least favorite things to do when it comes to this whole process. And I feel like the second I start making money on YouTube, I feel like I would put that into hiring an editor for my videos. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I feel like it has to be like perfect. And I can never figure out what I want my aesthetic to be either. It's like this, I want it to look like pretty and minimalist, but then that's not really my vibe in person. I like more of the like boho hippie, like retro kind of feel in person, but then whenever I go to do that on my channel, I just can't. And I don't know why. But yeah, editing is something I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, the second thing that I love about creating content on YouTube is that it is my creative outlet. So I have always done something in the arts. It has mostly been performing arts growing up, whether it was singing or dancing or theater. But I have always had a bit of an artistic bug that doesn't always come, I've never known quite how to use it. I love to bake, which I feel like baking and decorating and stuff like that kind of allows me to do it in that way. But then there's also that like mentally creative I like talking in circles, but I have a lot of ideas in my head, and I feel like teaching was one of those things that I thought would allow me to be creative as well. But unfortunately, things just didn't go well when I tried to be creative as a teacher. And so that was kind of a disappointment, that I kind of felt like I had to go back to just like doing this step, this step, this step, this step, do this, do that. And I sometimes got my creativity like taken away from me and told like, no, you gotta do it this way. I do love that, again, this is something that I can control myself. I can do what I wanna do on here. And if I decide that I wanna do something different from how it's usually done, I can. And nobody's here telling me no. I just have these notes that I always take, and some of the things I do, some of the things I don't, but I like that having a YouTube channel kind of gets those creative juices flowing in my head. Because it keeps you young too. Using that brain of yours, it keeps you young. All right, so another thing that I hate, and I'm actually gonna say hate. Hate is a very strong word, and I don't use it very often. But one of the things I hate about having content on YouTube is the rude, unconstructive comments that one can get. It always surprises me. I don't get as many like rude comments as a lot of other people on YouTube get. But when I'm on other people's videos and I just see, it still sometimes surprises me how rude people can be on YouTube and just on the internet. Like, I'm just like, why? Like, if you don't like it, turn it off, go to something else. That's what I do. It really makes me wonder about the person that's doing it. And I just don't understand the reasoning. I also don't understand the reasoning for giving a video a dislike. I really don't. I'm like, if you really don't like it, just go watch something else. I'm like, unless something is just like truly offensive, I don't see the point in giving a video a dislike. Especially if it's something that looks like it took time, you know, and it took somebody like spending time and effort doing that. I'm like, why would you give them a thumbs down on it? I just don't understand. But rude, unconstructive comments, I'm like, why? And I have had a few of those before as well. And this also leads me to another thing. I didn't actually write that down, but it kind of reminds me, people who comment something in a rude way, like saying that I didn't include something in my video or that I said something wrong in my video, and they do that without watching the entire video. Because if they had watched the entire video, they would have seen that I did actually include that in my video. I did actually correct that in my video, or I expanded upon something, and I'm like, if you had watched the whole video, you would have seen that. I don't understand why people comment something without watching the full video to see if they're actually correct in their comment. That like grinds my gears as well. I don't mind constructive criticism at all. I've gotten several comments like that as well. Like, hey, your lighting is a bit yellow. We couldn't really tell what the colors of the eyeshadow palette actually looked like. Or hey, your music is a little loud and distracts me. So maybe if you could have your music a little bit lower in the background. Like that kind of stuff, I don't get mad at. I don't mind at all, because I do want to grow my channel and I want, you guys are the ones that are watching it. So if something is distracting you, or if you have a hard time seeing something, like I want to know about that. If it's constructive and will help me with my channel and help me put out better content, then yeah, absolutely, feel free to put that in the comments. It's just the rude comments that like don't add anything, that aren't helpful at all, that are just rude, grinds my gears. Think before you type is what I'm saying. Think, and I'm about to like put on my teacher pants here. Think about what you're about to say. Think about, is it helpful? Is it relevant? If it is, then go ahead, say it, type it. But still, don't be rude about it. There you go. All right, so the next thing that I love about creating content on YouTube with the hopes of becoming a YouTuber, and I love about the idea of being a YouTuber, is the freedom that it gives you when it comes to working. So I love the freedom that I can work whenever and wherever I want. So as long as I have a camera, I can do this wherever. I don't need to be in a particular place at a particular time in order to do my work. I love that. I sometimes have productive times of the day that are not like 9 to 5. Sometimes my most productive time is like after 7 p.m. And so I do like the fact that with this, I can edit videos at 7 o'clock. And I do have the freedom. I can take care of my niece during the day like I am right now. I can be helpful to my family, my sister. I can be helpful to my parents if they need me to like go out and get something during the day that they won't have time to go get. I can go do that. And I love having the freedom to do that. That I think, and maybe that's very much the millennial in me that's just like, oh, 9 to 5, that sucks. I don't like the sound of that. But it's like, it's not that I don't want to do the work or that I don't want to do as much work. I just want to be able to do it on my time. You know, I like working and I always have, but I just have never liked the idea of like having to be somewhere at this particular time, having to stay there until this particular time. And it's like there might be time in between in which there's literally nothing for me to do. I'm very task oriented. So I like doing a task and then not doing it and then going back and doing another task, you know. I don't know if that made any sense. I hope that it did. All right, so another reason that I hate creating content on YouTube is something that I alluded to before. I guess kind of the return on investment. At this point, I feel like I am putting so much effort and so much time into my videos, and I'm not getting a lot back. I don't want it to seem like I'm only doing this to get views or to possibly get money, but I mean, this is something that I do want to be my career at some point, and I've been trying to make it that, and I've been working as though it is that. So I don't know. Sometimes I will spend like days on one video. So I will spend like maybe a few hours coming up with the idea, researching it. If I need to purchase, I'll sometimes spend like quite a bit of money purchasing stuff for that video. And then I will spend like maybe an hour or two actually filming the video, and then I'll spend usually several hours editing my video as well. Sometimes I'll be up until like 2 o'clock in the morning editing a video, like getting everything perfect, and sometimes doing things that are not completely necessary for my video but adds like that little extra touch. Like on my last video, labeling every single labeling every single product that was in my makeup collection for that declutter video. Not necessary, but I thought it looked better and I thought it helped, so I did it for every single. I put a little label and typed out exactly what it was and like put it on the timeline exactly where it needed to be for every single product in my makeup collection. It's like I do stuff like that. And then luckily that video has done so well in such a short amount of time, and I'm so thankful and grateful for that. But my videos don't usually do that, but I do still put the same amount of effort in all of my videos. And so I'll have some videos that will get, I'll spend hours and I'll be up all night editing the video, and then I'll post it and I'll get like 2 or 3 views in the first hour. And then like after the first day, I'll have like 10 views. I get very discouraged, and I almost feel silly. I do wish that I had a little more growth. You know, a lot more. I spent 4 years doing this pretty consistently, and I still am not getting paid for this. And like I said, I am working it like I am getting paid. And that's the thing that sometimes I look at it and I'm like, should I be spending this much time? Should I be taking time out of doing something that I could actually get paid for to do this that I'm not getting paid for? But I do still love doing it. I just wish that I could get more views, I could get more attention on my videos, and I wish that I could make a little bit off of my work. So, sorry, that was a burp. Right, so this I think is the 4th reason that I love being on YouTube, and that is the community. Even though, yes, we all know that YouTube and the internet can be very toxic, it can also be such a wonderful thing. And I have gotten, I'm like tearing up. Let me keep it together real quick. I also think it's because my eyes are burning today, as always. But anyways, I have had people that have said the nicest things to me. Like the nicest thing that anybody who's not one of my family members has ever said to me. And I've never even met them. And like so many compliments that I get, and just like unprompted, which hopefully compliments are all unprompted, but it's just, I have gotten people who have like supported me and who have like encouraged me, and it's just been amazing. And I think it has been something that has kept me going and is one of the reasons why I have continued for the last 4 years. And I love it. I've met a fellow BTS fan and that I can talk about BTS with, and it's been wonderful. And I really do consider us friends. And so this has been like, I don't know. This has been great, and I have really enjoyed the people that I get to talk to on here, and I hope that with my content I can add a little bit of sunshine to your day, and that's really what I want to do with my content. I want to do exactly what other people have done for me with YouTube. I just love this community that is on YouTube, and I love the sense of community and camaraderie and I don't know that I used that correctly. But the words of encouragement and the support that I get from people on here. Love it. All right, so the fourth reason that I do not like being on YouTube is the sometimes jealousy that it invokes in me. I do sometimes find myself comparing myself and my channel and how well my channel is done or not, I guess the progress of my channel, to other people on here, other content creators, whether they're in the beauty space or not. I honestly, for the last several years, I have been on the reaction side of YouTube. There's just something about watching people react to something that you love. It's like introducing a friend to something and like seeing how they respond to like your favorite song or your favorite show or whatever. So I've been watching that for a long time, and I know that reaction channels do very well on YouTube and very well in a short amount of time. And sometimes that just like, I just want to like scream, because there are a lot of reaction channels that don't do any editing. Like I'm actually thinking of one particular channel in my head. I'm not going to say it, but I know that he does no editing whatsoever. And yet he's got like 30,000 subscribers and has only been doing this for like 6 months. And I'm just like, it makes me, but I don't like feeling that way. I don't like feeling that way at all, because I don't know him. I don't know how much work he puts into this. And obviously I'm watching his content, so it's entertaining. It gets you. It does what a YouTube video and a YouTube channel is supposed to do. But I find myself doing that so much. Or I'll look at something and I'll be like, my video quality is so much better than that. Why are they getting so many more views than me? Like that's that little like catty, you know, we all have that little catty self that's like back there that we're keeping them deep down, and sometimes they come out and show themselves, you know? And I don't like that side of myself. I don't like feeling that way, because I like being supportive and encouraging, and I like being open-minded, and sometimes I'm just like, I find myself even making that face and like having a little rant to my dog. I'm like, why are they getting so many views? I'm like, I have to like reset. I'm like, Jamie, don't think like that. Don't be like that. I'm like, because you don't know other people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're doing. Something just resonates with people in that channel that it doesn't in mine. And I'm like, it's okay. My channel is my channel. It works at its own pace. Are we talking about my channel or are we talking about me? I don't like that it brings that side out in me. I don't like the jealousy that I sometimes feel looking at other people's channels and looking at their progress versus mine, especially if it is a channel that has been around for way less time than mine, but is doing way better than mine. It's just, yeah. It's hard, but I try not to let that Jamie come out too often. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, because I don't want to end on a negative. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the last thing that I hate about being on YouTube, and then we'll end with the last thing I love about being on YouTube. So the last thing I hate about being on YouTube is the societal views, I guess, on YouTubers or, you know, influencers, social media. The fact that I still am a bit ashamed at letting people know that this is what I want to do. Even though things have gotten better, I feel like they've also gotten worse at the same time. So even though more people are doing this, more people are making social media a career now, I feel like there are also more people who are now aware of that and disagree with it or don't think that it's a real job. Or don't think that you should be making money off of that. So like when I was working as a teacher, that was back 2019 through 2020, the school year, I at that time was very embarrassed, and I didn't tell anybody that I worked with that I had a YouTube channel. And I kind of was glad that I didn't, because we were in a meeting once with our principal. It was the specials team, which specials are like basically like your electives, but that's what it's called in in elementary school, like your music, art, PE, etc. We were in a meeting with the principal, and I don't really know what it was about, what we were talking about, but at one point our literacy teacher, she was like, yeah, maybe we can encourage these kids to do more than just become a YouTuber, because I guess a lot of kids had expressed that that's what they want to do when they grow up. And she was like, yeah, to actually do some work instead of just becoming a YouTuber. And so I was like, well, now I'm definitely not going to tell them that I also create content on YouTube and that I'm trying to become a YouTuber. So yeah, I wish that society's views on YouTubers and people who have made social media into a career, I wish that that was a little bit better. All right, and then the last thing that I love about being on YouTube and creating content on here is that I love being online. Like, that's honestly one of my favorite things. I know that that sometimes makes people think that like you're lazy or you don't get outside or you don't whatever, but that is also not true. I like being active, but I just love being online. I feel like there is so much knowledge to be gained from the internet, from being online. There's so much entertainment to be had, and this is just a place that I love. I love being on the internet. I always have, well, since it became a little more readily available. I remember as a kid, I wasn't allowed, if my parents weren't at home, I wasn't allowed to go on the internet because it would tie up the phone line. But I love finding new information. I think I and my generation was kind of the first to be raised to like understand how to find information on the internet. So I love being here. I feel like being a YouTuber is kind of a natural thing for me since I spend so much time on the internet. It would be great to have a career on the internet as well. So there we go. Alright, so that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload every Tuesday and Thursday. Give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And, well, I guess I can't really answer the question of the day because you guys already know. I mean, I can answer it, but, I mean, you guys already know what it is, what my niche is. But, and I said this a little bit earlier in the video, it was going to be testing Pinterest recipes. That was going to be my whole shtick on YouTube. So, there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.